I could take my consciousness now and go back. I would have gone to the police and taken my chances and exposing what was happening.
That's Lyle Menéndez admitting regret for the decisions he made up to and including that fateful evening, August 20th, 1989.
There's tremendous remorse and regrets and just the pain involved in my family. I don't spend time on self-pity and all that. I am not the only kid in America who was or had a brother who was and reacted in a toxic way to that. I'm not, and I'm not here to feel sorry for myself or, make excuses or, I don't think my brother and I are sitting here saying that it was not a crime or it was a justifiable act. We never said that. We don't believe that today.
The brothers almost got away with the murders until Eric Menéndez confessed the crime to his therapist.
Wish that he had, just talked to me or, spent more time just going to his parish priest and not ended up in sort of this therapist's hands. But, Eric and I have never had any moments of animosity or anything like that. I love him deeply.
During their trials, prosecutors pointed to the brothers' spending spree after the murders as evidence the killings were committed for money. But Lyle adamantly denies it.
Some people that lived in Beverly Hills were carrying about $300,000. Spoiled is a good word for it, but it's just sort of like, that's just how you grew up. I understand that it's juicy for the media, but money was just no factor in it.
Lyle says he still has nightmares about the murders and flashbacks of the alleged sex.
The psychologist that I've seen, just tells me it's just a part of who I am. It's part of what you live, and it's made you who you are. So, just don't invest too much emotion to it. Just allow yourself to feel it, and it'll pass.
Something Lyle is investing a lot of emotion into: the recent reunion with his brother Eric.
22 years, exactly. So it was just something I wasn't sure was ever going to happen. It was just a remarkable moment for me and really for my whole family. I wasn't sure how I would react, in 20 years. I just felt a lot of adrenaline and I ended up bursting into tears. It was just quite an emotional moment, almost unexpectedly. So I think for me, I thought maybe I'd just be numb.
Lyle Menéndez is describing the emotional moment he and his brother Eric shared when they saw one another for the first time in 22 years. Their first words?
Just that I love you, and, just the word finally, I think was said a lot.
In California, relatives are permitted to be housed in the same prison, but Lyle and Eric were the exception.
Actually, it's very unusual for my brother and I to be separated. We were kind of separated in the dead of night, unexpectedly, and I think that was probably the high notoriety part of it. My brother and I grew up together, very close, in a very chaotic home. So we sort of bonded really closely, maybe more than most brothers. We're not twins, but it was almost like we were twins. Just very scary going through the prison system and after the convictions, and with that sudden separation that we didn't really expect was just hugely traumatizing for us.
And while the brothers did write one another often, Lyle says that can't compare to living together in the same prison.
It's like a healing of a wound to be reunited.
And through the years, there has been other healing too.
We sort of made amends already to our family and for what occurred. I think the culture is sort of changing and understanding what the ramifications of families are, especially when it comes to boys. And, so I feel like there's been a little more acceptance of understanding the childhood that Eric and I went through. And we're just very different people now, like in 25 years.
Different indeed. Both brothers are married, although not allowed conjugal visits. They're active in rehabilitation programs at their new prison, and they've earned stellar reputations among inmates and officers alike.
You could come to prison and learn to be an effective criminal here if you wanted to hang out all day talking to people about that, or you could do something productive with your time and become a better person yourself and reach out and involve yourself in positive ways.
Lyle has stayed positive, even living with the possibility the brothers didn't get a completely fair trial. Some trial watchers claiming prosecutors needed a win at any cost after the infamous O.J. Simpson acquittal.
Defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
Well, I do think the O.J. phenomenon certainly, had its effect on the district attorney's office's political outlook of this case and on the public's maybe weariness with high-profile defendants at that time. So it was unfortunate.
After 22 years behind bars, Lyle sums up the brothers' attitude about life.
Pretty much to live each day, not looking back on it with any bitterness. Really, the only thing you can control is your attitude in the moment. That's what we try to do, and that's what we try to help others do.